So when it comes to Creed Aventus, there's a lot of ways to smell like that DNA, from clones to inspirations. And today I want to talk to you about Samy's version, because Samy Andraus Fragrances put out their version of Creed Aventus, which is called Black Sapphire. Now, a lot of you that have been watching for a while know I hold the Sapphire collection in high regard. Today I want to give you my thoughts on Black Sapphire. Stay tuned. So, has the usual little cheapy box, you know. I mean, at least it comes in something. What you hear in there is actually the little cap that comes on the bottles. That way that they don't leak. You know, little cappy comes. The atomizer is always separate. Always keep them in the box as well. But just a little bit of info all the way around. SamyAndraus.com. You know, nothing special with the box. In regards to the bottle, it is the standard stock bottles that Samy uses. Black Sapphire vinyl label, says Black Sapphire on the side. Then here's your note breakdown of pink pepper, pineapple, apple, blackcurrant, oak moss, and musk. So as you'll see, it is not a complete Creed Aventus note breakdown. So it's inspired by Creed Aventus. It's his version of Creed Aventus. Essentially, just like Blue Sapphire is his version of Elysium, Red Sapphire is his version of Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait, Purple Sapphire being his version of Initio Side Effect, and this being his version of Creed Aventus. So, in the opening, this one didn't give me the warm fuzzies like the other three in the Sapphire collection did. It wasn't what I expected. When I first smelled it, it was extremely bitter. You know, I'm really shocked. And look, I enjoy blackcurrant. This is a heavy dose of blackcurrant. It outweighs the pineapple. I do get some of the apple once it calms down. That opening it wasn't a bad smell. It was just much more bitter than I expected. And then once I spent some time with it, I actually sprayed it all throughout the day. I wore it out the shower that night, and I actually wore it again the following morning. And when I first got it, I had sprayed it on my arm, and I was shocked. I expected it to smell more like Creed Aventus. Now don't get me wrong, you smell it's going the route of Creed Aventus, but this is in no way is a clone of Creed Aventus. This kind of takes a different route. The most prominent accords and notes to me is that blackcurrant, the musk, the oak moss, and the apple. There's no rose in here. There's no ambergris. There's no birch for any smokiness. I think to replace the smokiness, there was just a heavier concentration of the blackcurrant oil used. So it's a bit more bitter and musky. It's very fruity, but it's a little bitter fruity. It's a bitter citrus type of fruit with a little bit of sharpness coming from the apple. And it's a lot of muskiness in the dry down with some oak moss. After I let it settle down, I really started digging this one. And like I said, my first spray, I didn't care for. I was shocked. I was like, wow, he finally put out something in the Sapphire collection that I'm not a big fan of. After I spent some time with it, really started to grow on me. This one had to grow on me. So for those of you that are interested in getting Black Sapphire, don't expect to be wowed. You may not be wowed upon initial spray like the other ones tend to do to people, as they've told me, and as they've done to me as well. This one didn't wow me the first time I sprayed it, but the more I let it sit on my skin, the better it got as it dried down. Now, in relates to performance, the longevity was definitely beyond 8 hours, but it didn't go to beast mode level of 12 hours like some of his fragrances. This was more 8 to 9 hour range, which for an Extrait de Parfum, it's not terrible, but it's not a beast either. But 8 to 9 hours is still plenty. That's still fantastic performance. Projection is where it shines though. The sillage in this one is pretty big. It projects very heavy in that first 2 hours. And then for the following 3 hours, it's actually still pretty good coming off of my skin anyways. And it performed about like I expected in the projection category, but in the longevity, it came up a little shorter than I expected. But like I said, 8 to 9 hours by no means is that a weak performer in longevity. But my overall thoughts on Black Sapphire, it is a nice addition to the collection. I'm shocked it took him 20 some odd fragrances to get to where he made his version of Creed Aventus. But like I said, this is one of those versions of Creed Aventus that definitely was not trying to be a clone. It was not trying to be a spot-on version of Aventus. This was him taking what he liked about Aventus and amping it up, taking away what he didn't like and raising what he did like. Because like I said, most prominent to me, blackcurrant, apple, musk, and oak moss. You can get a little bit of pineapple, but it doesn't hang around for real long. It's mostly blackcurrant and apple up top. Doesn't come off like there's any ambroxan in here. I don't think there's any ambroxan, so it doesn't smell like the other inspired fragrances that are blackcurrant, apple, bergamot heavy, stuff like that, like your Mercedes-Benz Select and stuff like that. Doesn't smell like any of those. I have to say, this is the first Creed Aventus inspired fragrance that smells like this to me. I would say in the realm of all the Aventus style fragrances, from the ones I've tried anyway. There's a bunch I haven't tried still. I feel like this one kind of stands on its own and does its own thing because it's not smoky. It's not crazy pineapple. It's not full of ambroxan or ambergris. It's a big dose of blackcurrant, musk, oak moss, and some apple. And you get a little bit of support from the pink pepper I don't really pick up. And the pineapple is very muted. It's in the back, it's there, but it's very in the background. So I know this was kind of all over the place the way I explained this. I just had so much to say about this because it's unique and it's not bad. It just surprised me the first time I sprayed it, but I ended up really, really liking it as I spent some time with it and gave it some wear, and that might be the case for you. And speaking of, I've got a full bottle I want to give away. So let's talk about that. So, atomizer to screw on. That will be wrapped up in the package. And another bottle with the cap on it. I'm going to be giving this away to one lucky subscriber. And as always, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. I know there's a lot of people that have been anticipating getting this. I've had a lot of comments, more than I expected actually, asking me, do you have Black Sapphire coming? Are you going to review Black Sapphire? So there was a lot of anticipation for this one from fans of Samy's fragrances. And you may have been surprised with what I had to say, but I'm telling you, give it a chance. It's different. It does not smell exactly like Creed Aventus, and if you like blackcurrant and musky fragrances, a little bitter citrus, I spent some time with it and I really enjoyed it. And if you want to get your hands on this bottle, it's available to continental United States only. Of course, like I said, you have to be subscribed to the channel, like this video, and in the comments, as always, TLTG I'm in, and you'll be entered to win. I'll let it run for 4 days from the release of this video, then I'll pin the winning comment in this video and reply to that comment to alert the winner, and then I'll also make a community post announcing the winner. Somebody's gonna get their hands on it. I gotta say, it's different. Not bad different, good different. Very, very good different, because it doesn't smell like a bunch of other Creed Aventus clones. That's the beauty of this. It's inspired by, not a clone of. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on Black Sapphire from Samy Andraus and you give it a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.